Welcome back to the Deep Dive. So, the NHL market in mid-season, it's definitely starting to warm up.
Oh, yeah.
And all of our source material, it's really pointing towards one major decision point for the Toronto Maple Leafs right now.
It's that classic January predicament, isn't it? You're close to a playoff spot, you're playing some good hockey, but you've got these gaping holes that could sink you if you don't do something before the deadline.
Exactly. So our deep dive today is all about what's being called internally a golden opportunity for the Leafs.
Right.
To get a proven defenseman and to get him immediately.
Quick reminder for Leafs Nation, if you're a diehard Toronto fan and you're still bleeding blue and white, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It's the best way to stay updated every single day on our journey.
So the mission for us is simple. We need to unpack why this move is just, strategically perfect right now.
It's more than just filling a hole.
It is. It fills an urgent need, sure. But the bigger deal is it does it at a deeply depressed price. It lets them navigate some really specific cap rules and, crucially, protect their future assets, which are already pretty thin.
And if you look at the big picture, you see why it's so necessary. The Leafs are, they're bouncing around just outside the playoffs, but the overall trend is up. Management has signaled they're ready to buy to really solidify that spot.
But they can't spend wildly.
No, absolutely not. This potential deal, it's really the ultimate definition of an opportunistic, low-risk, high-reward move.
Okay, let's unpack this then. We should probably start with the underlying problem that makes any defensive move so urgent, which is the devastating long-term injury to defenseman Chris Tanev.
Tanev's situation is just critical. The sources we have suggest he could miss the entire season, and that includes the playoffs.
Wow.
That's not just an injury. It's a systematic loss. Tanev gives you reliable, heavy minutes, usually in a shutdown role. He eats pucks, he absorbs pressure. Losing that just changes the whole geometry of your defense.
And it's not just about losing Tanev. The sources are, they're crystal clear on the immediate tactical goal here. They absolutely need to get defenseman Philip Meyer out of the regular lineup.
He's been cited as a primary liability.
Yes, struggling with reads, struggling with pace. It's a major driver.
It is. And when you look for a replacement, the profile they need is highly specific. This isn't just about finding a warm body to fill a jersey.
Right.
They need another right-hand shot defenseman, someone who can eat those tough minutes and, just as important, bring a real physical edge. This team's been battered by injuries on the back end all year. Jake McCabe is out right now.
So you need reliability.
You need reliability, and you need someone who can instantly improve the structure of that bottom pairing.
Which raises that fundamental NHL trade question, right? How do you find a quality replacement with that exact skill set? RHD, physical, proven, without coughing up premium assets, especially when your draft capital is already so thin.
That combo is nearly impossible to find.
Right.
Unless you target a player whose value has just recently plummeted because of some very specific circumstances.
And that brings us directly to the steal of the market. Luke Schenn. He's the target.
A very familiar name.
A very familiar name. And for you listening, he's already played with the Leafs twice. The sources are framing this as a textbook golden opportunity, purely because of his current depressed valuation.
What's fascinating is to really analyze why his value is so low right now. Schenn is 36. He'd be a pure rental last year of his contract.
Sure.
And critically, he's playing for the Winnipeg Jets, a team that's struggling and, looks like they're going to finish in the bottom 5. He's a frequent, healthy scratch there.
Yeah, and when he does play,
the reports say not great.
So wait, he's 36, a rental, and a healthy scratch on one of the worst teams. Why is this an opportunity and not just, acquiring dead weight?
This is where you have to look past the surface stats and see the system mismatch. See, Winnipeg brought him in to be an anchor, and they often threw him onto a struggling first pairing.
A tough spot.
A very tough spot. And Winnipeg's defensive system is high pace, it's high risk, it requires a ton of offensive transition from the D-men, none of which plays to Schenn's strengths. He's a defensive north-south guy. He was mismatched and he got exposed.
Okay, but hold on. If we're looking ahead to the playoffs, where the pace is highest against teams like Boston or Florida, isn't there a risk that a 36-year-old who has struggled with pace in Winnipeg is just going to be too slow?
And that's the critical challenge management has to weigh. But the answer, it really lies in usage. In Toronto, he wouldn't be asked to carry the struggling pairing.
No.
He'd be sheltered on the third pairing, tasked specifically with high-leverage defensive zone starts. His job isn't to skate the puck end-to-end, it's to clear the net, block shots, and finish checks. That role aligns perfectly with his historical strengths. The Leafs can give him the structure that Winnipeg couldn't.
That distinction role mismatch versus skill erosion, that is key. And it explains the incredible shift in his market price. Last year, Schenn was traded for a second and a fourth-round pick.
Pretty hefty price.
A very hefty price.
Oh.
Now, the sources anticipate the cost will be only a lower-end draft pick. That is a massive saving.
And that saving is paramount for Toronto.
Yeah.
They mortgaged so much draft capital last season, traded away 2 first-rounders.
Yeah.
They simply do not have the luxury of spending high picks now. Getting Schenn for, say, a 6th-rounder lets them protect their limited top-end prospects, the guys they want to keep, like Ethan Ken or Ben Danford.
To get a proven physical right-hand shot who already knows the organization for basically spare change.
Yeah.
That's exactly the kind of smart, low-risk move that good teams make.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's shift gears a bit. All the hockey analysis says this is a great fit, but none of it matters if the money doesn't work.
Right.
And a financial genius of this move, it ties directly to the salary cap stuff with Chris Tanis' injury and the current rules for long-term injury reserve, or LTI.
This is where we can get into the mechanics. For those who aren't familiar, LTI lets a team go over the salary cap, but the specific relief you get depends on whether the injured player Tanev here is declared out for the entire season.
So what are the numbers we're dealing with? Tanis' cap hit is $4.5 million.
Precisely, $4.5 million. Now, if the team doctors say Tanev will miss the entire season, playoffs and all, the Leafs get to use that full $4.5 million in cap relief, maximum spending room.
Okay, but there's a catch.
There's a big catch. It's a nuance that tightens the cap a lot. If Tanev is expected to return at some point, even if it's just late in the second round of the playoffs, the relief figure changes. Because the team has to account for him potentially coming back on the active roster, they only save $3.8 million against the cap.
That difference, $700,000. That's massive for a team that's always right up against the ceiling. It can be the difference between getting another player or having to stand pat.
It is, but this is where the Schenn acquisition just fits perfectly. His cap hit is $2.75 million.
Okay.
That figure is completely manageable, even in that more restrictive scenario where Tanev only provides the $3.8 million in relief.
So they get a vital player, and they still have cap room left over for other moves. They don't have to wait for a final decision on Tanev's status before they act.
Exactly. The injury creates the need, the LTI rules provide the opportunity, and Schenn's low valuation provides the perfect price.
It's like a perfect storm of circumstances.
And don't forget the leverage they have over the Jets. Winnipeg, given how bad they are, is now basically forced into a position where they have to sell off assets. Schenn is a pending UFA and unrestricted free agent. He can just walk away for nothing in the summer.
So for Winnipeg, a late pick is better than nothing.
Infinitely better. That financial pressure on the seller is what makes the low price possible.
So we have a motivated seller, a perfect financial